There are more homes on the market.
Okay, so inventory is
this year.
better?
Inventory is better.
Okay.
It's still historically low, but it is much better than it was a year ago. There are
Okay.
more homes on the market, so you'll have more of an opportunity to hopefully find one that fits into the home buyer's budget.
Last year, we met together and talked about the state of the market and how everything was going in 2022. And I feel like it's changed. It's a little different this year.
The landscape looks a little different, yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So last year, we talked about how it was a seller's market, right? So is it a buyer's market now, or what does it look like?
No, I wouldn't say it's a buyer's market.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit in between, kind of a happy medium.
Okay.
We're not seeing as many bidding wars. There are still some,
Yeah.
but nothing like it was last year.
Okay.
Homes are not going under contract before they're ever even seen. They're sitting on the market a little bit longer, so buyers have time to look and to decide where they want to live and not in such an urgency to make an offer.
Yeah, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
They're not feeling like, oh, I've lost out on the previous 10 bids. I better just aim really high this time. I remember that's what we were talking about last year.
It was that.
a little crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it has very much, it's a different look now.
Okay.
It's more of what it used to be.
Okay.
People, if you're looking for a home, you have time to look. You don't have to make an offer on the first house that you find.
Yeah.
It's definitely a better place.
Yeah. Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the rate environment has changed a little bit too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The rates
So-
are a little bit different than they were a year ago.
Yeah. And so that obviously affects the ability for people to buy as much home as they were hoping or thinking they could, maybe.
It does.
Okay.
What you're referring to, our rates are higher now than when they were a year ago. Yes, that is a true statement.
Okay.
And it does affect the option of buying a home or how expensive of a home you want to buy. And unfortunately, it's made home ownership unaffordable for some first-time home buyers as well.
Okay. So if I am looking to buy a home, right, looking to get a mortgage, how many, like you said, I have more time to look at homes. Is there an average time that homes are staying on the market these days? Is it still super low? But
You would be surprised.
okay.
It's, as I looked at the different states in which we lend, it's about 60 days. So
Oh,
it's about
okay.
2 months. There are more homes on the market.
Okay. So inventory is
this year.
better.
Inventory is better.
Okay.
It's still historically low, but it is much better than it was a year ago. There are
Okay.
more homes on the market, so you'll have more of an opportunity to hopefully find one that fits into the home buyer's budget.
Okay. And we obviously operate in 6 states, all here
We
in
do.
the Mountain West region. What is that? Does that differ versus nationally as well?
I think overall it's very similar,
Okay.
but there are some differences, and it depends. There's different pockets within different states that are just kind of unique to that area. So when we say, that it's about 60 days, that's an average.
Okay. Yeah. So some places are going
Some
longer.
are a little bit quicker. Some could be 30 days,
Okay.
and some could be a little bit longer as well.
Okay. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what the experts are predicting for 2023 and into 2024. Is this environment going to continue? Inventory still is going to be historically low. Those first-time home buyers, how do we help them? What does that look like?
You're throwing a lot of questions at
I
one
am,
time at me.
I am.
It was interesting. I just read an article, and just so I can get these stats correct, the median price of the U.S. home was lower this February than it was in February of 2022. And that was a statistic by the National Association of Realtors.
Okay.
So interesting that over the last decade, we have seen values go up every month. And this was the first time that values had actually decreased.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to say it's doomsday.
Right.
They're not going to
Yeah.
plummet, but we are going to see a leveling out of those values of homes.
Okay.
And there may be some areas, like I talked about a minute ago, pockets within certain states where values might still increase a little bit, but there are going to be areas where they decrease. In the same article that I read from the National Association of Realtors, it stated that we may see even a decrease of maybe 5%. I think I've heard as high as 12%, but that's going to vary depending on where the home is.
Okay. Well, and I think this time last year, we were sitting in these chairs knowing that something had to change.
Correct.
Right? Not everything could stay that high and continue to increase.
Right. There had to be a correction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's happening.
It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it makes sense.
Yes.
So what does that mean for someone looking to buy a home?
So if someone's looking to buy a home, it's a great opportunity. Like we just talked about, there's more homes available. So there's a higher inventory. Rates are a little bit higher than what they've been. The MBA forecast is that we may see a lower rate in the third quarter of this year.
Okay.
I think right now forecasts are just that. They're just a forecast. I think that we're in a time that we just don't really know what's happening. And so we're hopeful that we'll see lower rates, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, that's fair. So for these first-time home buyers,
yes,
right, that you mentioned, some people simply can't afford a home anymore. When you think of that high of an interest rate and the down payment and home values, good grief, how do these people do it? What can we help them with?
You know, and that's the great thing about the credit union. We have an awesome first-time homebuyer program.
Okay.
To make it more affordable for our first-time homebuyers, we have a program that is a 40-year due in 15. So it's amortized over 40 years, so it keeps their payment lower. And then in 15 years, there is a balloon payment. But typically, people don't keep a home 15 years. Yeah. And I know sometimes the word balloon
can be scary.
Gives a little bit, a little anxiety. But like I mentioned, most people don't keep a home 15 years. So it allows the home buyer to get into a home, have a lower payment, start building some equity. And then in several years, if they want to sell and look for something bigger, it always gives them that option because they're already building equity.
Yeah, I love that. So it's helping them in the long run.
It is.
Yeah.
And we want to help our first-time home buyers. It is a rough time with higher values, higher interest rates, inflation. We want to do what we can to help them. And that's a program that we designed here at the credit union. And so we're really excited about it.
I love that. What other loan types could be helpful in this market?
It kind of depends on each scenario, right?
Okay.
Another great option is an FHA loan. Our first-time home buyer does not require a down payment. FHA does require a small down payment. Okay. It also requires the home buyer to have mortgage insurance. That's part of their loan payment. But FHA did reduce their mortgage insurance, so that is a benefit. That will help someone qualify because their payment will be less. If you're not looking to buy a home that's already built and you want to build your own home, the credit union has an awesome construction program. It's a one-time close program. It allows them to purchase the lot, build the home, and then it modifies to a long-term loan, and it's just one approval.
Oh,
that's
nice.
A great program.
Yeah. Okay.
If someone's fearful of a 40-year, we also have a 30-year first-time home buyer program. That's a good option as well too.
Okay. Awesome. So let's say I know I want to move or I want to get into a home. Where do I get started? It just seems like an overwhelming process, right? For everyone that has not done it before.
It does seem overwhelming, but it is so easy.
Okay.
We contact the credit union. We can put you in contact with one of our amazing loan officers. They will sit down with you, talk to you about your finances, your debts, your income, what your credit score is, and then they can do a pre-approval for you. That will give you an idea of how much you'll qualify for. And then you can get out and start looking.
I love that. And now, one thing I do always like to clarify, what you can qualify for isn't necessarily always what you can afford. Is that correct?
That is very correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's a very good statement. When I was doing mortgages, that was a very scary thing when first-time homebuyers would come in and they'd say, oh, I want to qualify for the maximum amount that I can. I would sit down with them and I would say, let's look at your finances. Like right now, you don't have a car loan. What if your car breaks down? What if you need to have a car loan? You need to make sure that you have some buffer in that budget so that you're not just making a house payment, that you're house poor, that you can also afford those other things. Because once you buy a home, you're going to have utilities, you're going to have internet, those types of things. And you want to make sure that you have those extra funds to be able to make those payments and still live comfortably.
Yes.
You don't want to be house poor.
Yeah, I love that. Right. I mean, house poor is fun.
Because you have a house.
Because we have a house. But
you want to still enjoy life.
Yes, exactly. So any additional tips or guidance that you have for people out there looking to get a mortgage in 2023?
Be patient.
Okay.
I would suggest contacting a loan officer. There are so many different programs that are available that I think people just don't know. There's so many myths. I think there's still the myth that you have to have 20% down to buy a home. That's not the case any longer.
Okay.
And if you take the time to speak to one of our loan officers, they can answer all those questions. They can tell you what options are available. Like I said, there are several different programs for most people, and knowing which one fits your lifestyle best is really going to help you feel comfortable about your loan, how much your payment is, and then the home that you purchase.
Okay, love it. Well, you guys heard it from Kara. We have options for you if you're looking to get a home. And so thank you so much for joining us today, Kara.
Thank you for having me, Kristalina.
Yes, and good luck to all of you out there looking to buy, build, all the things. And we will see you on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.